Hello everyone, and today we're back into another top 5 video, and we're going to be talking about the top 5 Wave Wrecker Loomians in all of Loomian Legacy. So Wave Wrecker is a brand new water move that was just added a couple weeks ago. It does 90 melee attack damage and has a chance to daze the opposing Loomian, and a lot of water types have gotten this move. So with that out of the way, let's see who the top 5 Loomians are. Number 5 onto this list is going to be Cannibal. Cannibal getting Wave Wrecker is huge, because its best stab move before that was Hydra Slash, which did only 70 damage. And when you combine that with its 125 attack, it didn't do as much. But with Wave Wrecker, Cannibal hits a whole lot harder now, and it's huge. This makes Cannibal hit so much harder, and not only that, also dazing the opposing Loomians. I mean, in this clip, it breaks through a Yursnack. And we all know how bulky Yursnack is. Yursnack is a melee tank and a half. And Cannibal broke through a Yursnack after a daze. It's kind of insane to think about. But why is Cannibal only number 5 and not higher on the list? Even though this does have the highest melee attack out of any melee water type in the game, it doesn't have any abilities that can really increase Wave Wrecker itself. I mean, it does have Ambush, and Ambush is very dangerous, especially when the opposing player swaps out their Loomian. But the other abilities, like Madcap, only increase Clobber and Raging Tackle, and not Wave Wrecker. And while it's still very good, it's still a very good stab move for Cannibal that it will run, it isn't as effective as any other Loomian on the list, and that's why Cannibal is number 5 on this list. Number 4 onto this list is going to be Skellic. Now, I think Cannibal is the better Loomian compared to Skellic, but I think Wave Wrecker has helped Skellic more. Mainly because after a Drudge, you outspeed everything in the game, and you hit a lot harder after a Drudge, meaning that you could utilize Wave Wrecker a lot more effectively. And I think that's what makes Skellic a lot better Wave Wrecker user compared to Cannibal. Because if it gets a combative boost, it hits extremely hard. If it gets a Drudge, it outspeeds everything. And it has some very good coverage. It has really good coverage options, honestly. Just like Cannibal, it has really good coverage options. But I think Skellic is a little bit better. I mean, you can run Ice coverage, you can run Outburst, you can run Primal Slash, you can run Phantom Slash, Shadow Sprint. There's a lot of different options you can run on Skellic. You can even run support moves like Baffle, which is huge. And while Wave Wrecker is a good move for Skellic, it's not that great of a Loomian itself. It's still very good, and after a Drudge, it can definitely become a late game sweeper and be very dangerous. Although, the reason why it's not in the top 3 is because there is a certain other Loomian which I think does the job a little bit better. And we'll get to that Loomian in a little bit. But Skellic is still a very good Wave Wrecker Loomian, and it definitely deserves number 4 on this list. Number 3 onto this list is going to be Axlos. Axlos is a roamer, so you know this thing's going to be good. It has a lot of powerful attacks in Brawn Boost. With 120 melee attack and Brawn Boost, this thing can absolutely nuke. If you're up a completely tanky team like Vanillin, Harvest Sect, Seadrag teams, you could set up multiple Brawn Boosts and then you can sweep. Axlos is dangerous, and while it can't really hit water types that well, it has Rogue Assault and Gnarly Gash to hit them, so it is still a very solid Loomian to use, and its speed stat is just good enough to be usable. It's not the fastest thing in the world. I mean, Skellic is faster, but it is faster than Cannibal, and it is faster than Wrestling and a couple other melee wall breakers, which is huge. It doesn't outspeed Helvetic, though, unfortunately, which does kind of stink. Despite that, though, Axlos hits really hard, has solid bulk, and there's a lot of different items you can run on it. You can run a Health Amulet, you can run a Power Cuffs, you can run a Rageful Plushie. There's a lot of different ways you can run Axlos, and that's why Axlos is in the top 3. And when you have that more damaging move of Wave Wrecker and the chance of dazing the opposing Loomian, that makes Axlos a lot more effective. And that's why Axlos is number 3 on this list. Number 2 onto this list is going to be Seadrag. And it's surprisingly the only non-water type Loomian that's on the list. But Wave Wrecker helps Seadrag a lot because it's a plant type. plant types are weak to fire types. And even though Wave Wrecker isn't stab, Wave Wrecker is way better than Hydro Slash, meaning you can actually beat a lot of fire types now. You can one-shot Pyrolin, you can one-shot Tyrex, you can one-shot pretty much any fire type besides Infernix, because, Infernix is resistant to it. And Seadrag hits so hard, and after a couple Thorn Slams, this thing can become a late-game sweeper after a couple Thorn Slams. It also has Ancient coverage, which is really good for Obsidian and Spirit types. So that's what makes Seadrag so good. And since it has a higher attacking move in Wave Wrecker to deal with those fire types now, it can be used a lot more effectively. Now you're not forced to run Thorn Slam and get the +1, as you could just use Wave Wrecker and defeat the Pyrolin right away now, which is huge. You don't need any extra setup now. You can now deal with those fire types a lot more effectively, and that's why Seadrag is number 2 on this list. And even though it isn't the best Loomian, Wave Wrecker makes it a lot better, and that's why it's number 2 on the list, but it's not number 1. The best Wave Wrecker Loomian in all of Loomian Legacy is Xamarin. Xamarin is fantastic. It's very bulky on both sides because of its high health stat. Rev Up makes it so it gains a speed boost. It has sharpened setup. And look at that melee attack stat. 117 melee attack for a Loomian that has 120 base health. You can run Xamarin in a lot of different ways, just like Axlos. But the thing that makes Xamarin even better is that after a sharpen and then a +1 rev up, you outspeed everything in the game. And if you get a couple +1s of Steel Crusher, oh my goodness, this Xamarin can easily sweep any team. Its coverage is really good, and even though it doesn't have the most coverage options, at least compared to like Seadrag and Cannibal, the coverage that it does have is amazing. It has Water, Metal, Stab. But, I know what you're thinking, Water types wall you, but it has Thunder Chomp coverage. If you get +1, you can beat pretty much any team in the game. And since you don't have to set up like a +1 speed, it happens itself. And it's bulky enough so it can pretty much live any hit unless if it's by an electric type move. And that's why Xamarin is the best Wave Wrecker Loomian in all of Loomian Legacy. And it's probably one of the best late game sweepers in the entire game as well. This thing has gotten so much better with Wave Wrecker that it deserves the top spot on this list. And here it is. Xamarin, the best Wave Wrecker Loomian in all of Loomian Legacy. I hope you guys enjoyed this top 5. If there are some other Wave Wrecker Loomians that I missed on this list, tell me in the comments below. And yeah, this was a pretty hard list to make, and it's very cool to talk about these brand new moves that were just added. So yeah, that's the end of the video, and I will see y'all all later. Bye-bye!